You want to bet Israel Adesanya this weekend, but you don't want to lay 650. Let's be real. Well, you've come to the right place because we're going to find out just how to do that with our man, Kyle Anthony, the best MMA capper over the last 3 years here at WagerTalk TV. And this headline fight, I don't understand how people try and make cases against the style bender at this point. He's taken on Strickland, and you have a great way to bet this fight, Kyle. So how are you going to attack it?
Yeah, so in this spot here, title fight, we have Israel Adesanya. He's minus 650. On the comeback here, you've got Sean Strickland plus 450. Now, Adesanya, massive favorite. We all know the reasons, for all the right reasons. He's got fantastic distance management, one of the best kickboxers probably on the planet, one of them. He's got great stance switching, and that's something that I think is really going to make things very difficult for Sean Strickland, who is really boxing heavy approach. He likes to march forward, and that's something that I think really has worked out well for him over his career. When you look at what he's done, the three main things really is the volume, cardio, and the pressure, and that has worked really well for him, really melting opponents, pushing forward, keeping the volume going. As soon as you're looking to kind of create space, find opportunity to almost get a rest or a break, he keeps going forward. That's how he wins fights. He'll either bank some rounds by just volume and outlanding you, or he can look for the finish, and that's kind of the way that he's gone. Now, two of those three things are not going to really work out well for him against Israel Adesanya, and that's the volume and the cardio, because we've seen Adesanya do 5 rounds with ease. He can go out there, really do. You've never seen him gas. Also, he kind of sticks to whatever the opponent's doing. If the opponent's pushing the pace, he's going to start pushing the pace. If the opponent's taking some time, he's going to take some time. But I think that he's going to see that Strickland's going to push forward. He's going to be looking to engage right away. And the one thing about that is that the only really path is going to be him pushing forward. Strickland has to push forward. He has to push the pace, smother the kicker, get him up against the fence, make it dirty. He can't have a glorified kickboxing match with Israel Adesanya. It's not going to work out well for him. And the other part about this is, will Strickland look for the takedown? Can he get the takedown? Can he get any control time? I think probably not. I don't think he's going to be looking to wrestle too much. I think if he does it, it's a change of pace. I think it's just to kind of get Adesanya kind of thinking a little bit more. But besides for that, Adesanya has a 77% takedown defense rate. He is fantastic at distance, and he knows how to really manipulate distance overall. And if he can get some takedowns, he can get some control time, it's possible that Strickland could do something. But we've seen that Adesanya is so good. He elevates. He has consistently improved that part of his game because everyone's looking to take him down, so they all know the situation there. But on the other side of it, I think that really the red flag and the spot where Adesanya is going to take advantage of this fight, yes, it's going to be at distance, but it's going to be the leg kicks. And he really is a master at that. He'll start a combination with it, end the combination with it, and really push the pace there. I think the first round, he's going to kind of feel it out a little, but I think as this fight goes on, he's going to get some great reads on a guy who's going to be pretty much boxing most of the fight. I think he's going to pick him apart, and I think it's going to be really death by accumulation, where he's just going to pick him apart, work him, hammer the body, and when he's ready, he's going to put him away. I think it's a big spot in front of this crowd here. I like him to get the job done. As you were saying, listen, minus 650, that's probably right, but I think the place that we're going to be betting here is going to be Adesanya plus 115 via knockout. He hasn't had too many knockouts besides the Pereira one. I think he puts a stamp on it. I really think he runs through him somewhere in that 3rd or 4th round. I like Adesanya plus 115 via knockout.
Taking a minus 650 and turning it into plus money, that's how you become the #1 ROI capper all last season and one of the best that's out there that caps the UFC. Kyle Anthony, check him out, wt.buzz/KA. He's got a 5%er rocking for UFC 293, so check that out over at his page. All right, so you found a way to take a favorite, make it plus money. This one isn't quite doing some magic with a minus 650, but you are bringing down some juice as we're looking at this Ulberg and Jung fight. How are you going to get creative with this one, Kyle?
Yeah, so you got Carlos Ulberg here. He's minus 270 and climbing. We're seeing some minus 300 money now at this point. And the other side here, you've got Dawoon Jung plus 220 on that side. And this is a situation where, listen, Ulberg is fantastic. He has high level striking overall. And the thing about him is he's 5-1 since entering the UFC, including a victory on Dana White's Contender Series. And he was really building a lot of hype. They really liked him. He was starting to do very well. Ended up losing against Kennedy Nzechukwu, which was a fight where Ulberg almost put him away in the first round. And it was one of those things where Ulberg, his cardio can be a little suspect in certain spots, but he was able to kind of not, or he wasn't able to get him out of the first round. Nizichuk finished him in the next round, kind of because he was tired. But the fight that I thought was interesting was against Nikolai Negumereanu, and Negumereanu is a good fighter. He was 13-1 at the time, tough guy, durable guy. Carlos runs through him in the first round, extremely impressive. And this is where the bookings for Carlos seem a little weird because he beat a guy that kind of was on the rise. After that, they faced him up against the guy that Nikolai ended up beating prior to it, not long ago. And of course, Ulberg goes out there and gets that first round knockout. Now you have Carlos Ulberg facing a guy in Jung who's 0-2 in his last two and has looked absolutely terrible. It really feels like this is a spot where UFC is trying to build him up. They're trying to give him fights. They're trying to give him winnable ones. They're really building his highlight reel. I mean, he's got some sensational knockouts. And Jung, he was just knocked out by a kickboxer in the first round against Dustin Jacoby, where he was cocky. He had his hands down. He felt like he was really in some kind of flow state with him. He gets dropped, knocked out. End of story for him there. After that, he fought Devin Clark, who is probably, I would consider like a gatekeeper-ish kind of fighter. And Clark beat him 30-27 handedly. It was pretty easy. He controlled the situation. And Jung on the other side of it, I mean, he looked unmotivated, unimpressive, sluggish, slow. I mean, it just looked horrible for him completely overall. And that to me, now you've got him going against the guy in Ulberg who is far more explosive, far more athletic, way better striking, way better countering, faster hands, has knockout power. And the thing about it here is, the only hole here that I think some people try to put on Ulberg is really going to be, him getting takedowns. Like, can Jung get Ulberg down and control him? I don't really think so. Jung has gotten some takedowns. It has not looked that great overall. I don't think that's going to be the spot here. So I think that Ulberg goes out there, has the power, has the ability, really, really puts it on him. We're changing to minus 270. We're going to put that down to a minus 135, 134 actually. And I think this is a spot. I think they're trying to build him up. They're looking for this knockout. And also, this is just before the pay-per-view. This is going to get the crowd going crazy. I got Carlos Ulberg via knockout minus 134.
And then after we cash in, we'll have money to buy the pay-per-view. So then we'll get to watch the Adesanya fight that we're also going to cash in and get all the money back that we spent. That's Kyle Anthony. I'm Dan Alexander, and this is your UFC edition of Wager Talk Extra. If you like what you heard, hit that subscribe button and make sure you click that like button as well. And comment below. Now you know what Kyle's going to be betting. We want to know what you're on as well. And make sure you check him out at WagerTalk.com. And that's going to do it for us here on a UFC edition. If you like what you've heard here, hey, you don't have to go far. You can click that little video right alongside me, and you can keep on watching right here on WagerTalk TV. Get all the tools you need to bet all the sports you love. We'll see you next week.